did? We're good? We're good?
Switch his name tag. Maybe we'll move that to the middle there.
You want me to move it over there before we start? You want it on this?
I think that's where it was yesterday.
You want it here?
That's fine.
That's fine? Okay. All right, guys, come on. Welcome to the U.S. Open 8-Ball Championship, proudly presented by CueSports International and hosted here in Las Vegas at Griff's Billiards. It is alternate break, race to 8, and let's meet our two opponents for this match. First up, hailing from the United States of America, can we put our hands together for Dennis Hatch? And his opponent hailing from the United States of America. We put our hands together for Shane Van Boening. Gentlemen, have a great match, and you may lag for break.
Welcome, everyone. Second day of the U.S. Open 8-Ball Championships at Griff's Billiards in Las Vegas, Nevada. We got a great match for you as you watch the lag here. And this is George Teache in the booth with Jeremy Jones, and he knows a lot about these players.
Yeah, well, arguably probably the greatest player on the planet, Shane Van Boening. I mean, rankings might tell you otherwise, but here on U.S. soil, I wouldn't be hard for me to pick another player that I'd rather take when it's the most crucial. And then Dennis Hatch, in my opinion, back in the 90s, I know there was Johnny Archer, but as far as American players and the young ones back in the 90s, didn't get hardly any better than Dennis. Dennis and Johnny, in my opinion, were the two best players. And Dennis is a guy, he and I were talking about it. George, you and I were talking that me and Dennis are about the same age. And
yeah, you guys are exactly the same age.
Yeah.
Both born in 71.
Yep. And Dennis is a guy who stays in shape. Sometimes doesn't get to play all the time. He now owns a car lot. And I'm sure works his tail off at that, but just a real natural talent, maybe the most natural I've ever seen in American pool. Meaning a guy just swings the cue and just you never really see like a problem, like a flinch or.
I think that has a lot to do with being left-handed, don't you?
Well,
I'm just teasing because
no, that's an argument. A lot of people talk about lefties all the time. They talk about lefties do this, do that, and. But one thing about Dennis, he's just a great athlete. And that's what you see with a lot of the great pool players that look so natural. They're just really good athletes. They just kind of get it, how it's supposed to work.
That actually brings a question to mind, because this is something I've thought about pool for a long time, is hand-eye coordination. I think it's very important in the sport.
Oh, absolutely. It just gives you a bigger upside to start with. Now you can see a wide open solids here, and we'll get after the game here in a minute. But what I always found is, and we know those type of guys, but and ladies as well, that kind of, I'm sure you know a few of them. I know a few of them, and I was kind of this way myself, but played a lot of sports well.
Well, that's exactly, they're athletes usually.
Yeah, and then what that bodes towards, in my opinion, is you don't have time to master so many different sports in one lifetime, it seems like, the difficult sports. But what it lends, in my opinion, is how similar a lot of them are, meaning that motion that's involved in sports, whether it's throwing a ball, swinging a club, swinging a cue, just the timing of all of them are so similar. I think it makes it easier for those people that have that hand-eye coordination just to carry it from one sport to another.
Sure. I think it's very important.
It's just I think it's a coincidence that is a little bit more than a coincidence, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Well, as Shane works his way through this rack, this will be a race to 8, and this is on the one-loss side. Shane was defeated by Max Eberle yesterday, and then he's beat Kurt Kobayashi this morning. Dennis, on the other hand, had a little bit different path. He lost to Danny Olson. He defeated Donnie Mills first and then lost to Danny Olson, so he had one more win under his belt than Shane did. But then he also beat Cheng Che Lu, but lost to, in the 10 ball, he lost to Ruslan. Today he's lost to, he beat Mason Koch and then lost to Chen Cheng Lu 8-7. So he got his, Mr. Lu got his revenge.
We'll see if Shane holds for the 6 all the way up. I'm not sure he recognizes he can kind of just stop his ball there and shoot the 6. Yeah, that's what I would be looking at. If I felt a little funny about moving the cue ball here, like I was a little flat, I don't mind taking on that shot up in the corner.
Yeah, because if he tries to go around and doesn't get there, the one ball doesn't go to the right side.
Yeah, and you just don't, with all that traffic, right? You just don't want to get thin on something and have to move the cue ball into some trouble. I like Shane taking on this 6 in the corner. 8 ball, of course, once you get the run going, you try to stay away from longer shots. It's just that type of game, but it's better than making a silly mistake.
Well, we're down to 8 on the winner's side. These two gentlemen are not part of that. They're part of the 16 still on the one-loss side, and we've got all of them playing right now.
And the schedule holds true to just like the 10 ball, so we should be down to 6 players after today's matches have ended. There'll be 2 left on the winner's side and 4 left on the loser's side. Big shot here. He's got to kind of move it a little bit. Okay, nice shot. We are playing all ball fouls, so these guys, if they touch a ball, they'll certainly call it on themselves, but they got to be aware of it also.
We are playing CSI rules. A scratch gives you ball in hand anywhere on the table. And Shane steals one from Dennis because Dennis broke the balls. So off to a 1-0 start.
Yeah, and Dennis, when it comes to that break, which we talked about, so similar to 10 ball, he's a little more like Thorsten at times, you might say, a little flatter and harder instead of that pop, which we're certainly going to get to see here by the man that perfected it, Shane Van Boening.
He has a big break. I've watched it now for the last 3 years, right here on this table, where he's been in the 8 ball. This is his 4th year playing 8 ball, 3rd year on this table, or here at Griff's. But he does have a big break. There was one time that break cost him, though, in his winning 3 in a row, 3 championships in a row. He broke the balls at Hill against Alex and got kissed in, and Alex ran out from there.
Yeah, well.
It was a good break, nonetheless, but it got kissed in.
Now, without me being here the last 3 years, and I saw some of it while it was being played from on the computer. Now, a dry break right back at you. So we'll see what Dennis can do. I got to say, this is probably the toughest fields, right, out of all of them, as far as the maybe not as many players, but the quality.
The quality is just a little higher this year. I wouldn't say much because he had, he's got a little more international flavor this year that wasn't around in the previous years. So a little bit different type of competition, sure. We've seen, Torsten's been here. Let's see. Of course, Kevin Chang is not. Chen Cheng Lu was not here. Neither was Junling Chang. Neither of those 3 were here. So international quality players is different than it has been in the past. And then there's less of the, I guess you might say, lower Fargo-rated players. Because here we got 36 players. And
just saying, like more of maybe players that can win the tournament.
Yes, there's more. There is more of those guys, and as is evident in the 10 ball.
Right.
And the 10 ball results, where you have Shane and Billy finishing, was it 5th, 6th?
Yep. Well, just like game 1, a dry break by Shane, and the stripes were very obvious, just like the solids were in game 1, as far as which balls you're going to take. And now a quick run to even the match. He should have no problems here.
Just even stop it there and just follow right down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, it wasn't Shane and Billy. It was Shane and Skyler. finishing fifth.
Fifth, sixth, yeah.
Yeah, Billy finished 9th through 12th. In the 10 ball. And the Hatchet Man getting one back off of Shane's break.
Well, we've seen a pretty good pace as far as the 8-ball matches are concerned, and some of them were a little one-sided in day one. Now our last match went, I think, hill-hill, or right at hill-hill maybe. Maybe it was 8-6 is what it was, but it was still a fast-played match.
That was Thorsten and James, right?
Yeah.
That was hill-hill.
Yeah, hill-hill.
7-7.
Yeah, Thorsten actually made a really nice out.
Oh, beautiful
hill-hill.
out, gosh. These guys are just now getting started, so we don't have any updates for you as far as their scores go. But you have Marco Tutcher and Chris McDaniel, Alex Pagulayan, Danny Olson, James Aranas, Darren Appleton, Cheng Lu, and Casper Makinen, Kevin Cheng, and Michael Yednek, who defeated Billy Thorpe at 10 o'clock this morning.
Well, Michael's a solid player, solid 9-ball player, solid straight pool player, so both of those really bode well for being a solid 8-ball player also. So, I mean, a little bit of a surprise, but not too big of a surprise there in that match. I mean,
yeah.
Michael probably around a little below 750 on the Fargo is what I'm guessing. Maybe just a hair below myself. I'm 740-ish, maybe 745. It could be higher, actually.
Actual Michael is 655. He's my speed.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've played some pool with Michael and got to watch him play, and I thought it'd be a little higher than that. And I'm not the most versed on everything when it comes to the Fargo, but again, not really that pop, just an all-out hit. And I think you're kind of taking a big chance when that's the case, when you're really not playing that pop break. You really don't have them. The ball's designed where they're trying to go. And let's see here. I like the solids, I believe. The 5's not hard to get on at all with the 4 being there. Yeah. So you just shoot that 7, you shoot the 4, and you drop to the short side on the 5. You take care of the 6. You come down table for the 2 and the 3.
Yeah, he can take care of it, all of it, by just opening up with the 4, getting on the 5.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the 5's a little
7.
tight to that opposite pocket, though. And the 2's not a problem. Even if it doesn't go, you shoot the 3 and then the 2 all the way up. Now the 9 there, okay, the 9 is a little bit covering up the 1 to where you want to get. So you got to be thoughtful of that. And the only reason I would like the solid so much more than the stripes is just that 12 ball, getting that 14 and that 12. Otherwise, I think they're fairly even, you know, or both very runnable.
We've seen him start with the 7, then probably go to the 4, the 5, and work his way down.
Yeah.
Which is a better way.
And no reason to save the 6, you know, like I'm looking at the 6. Do I want to save it for some reason? And I don't think so. Now, one ball I might save is the 7. Like if I can run the 4 and the 5 and get on the 6 on the side and take care of some of this other work, I might save the 7, but I doubt that also. I think I'm going to go ahead and clear that side of the table. So he's going to follow around for the 5.
I might save the 6 to lead me to the 1 safely.
That's what I was saying. Maybe, yeah, I might. You know, I hate to save one that far away from the pocket. I'd rather save one that's a little closer to the pocket. That way I have to shoot it from a little distance. Sometimes those ones you save, what you're thinking of is not only position, but you're thinking, okay, it's a ball that if I get to where I need to shoot something easy, I got it. Now he's looking at.
Coming for the 3?
Yeah, coming for the 3, picking off the 2 afterwards, and then the 6-1 like you talked about there, George. So this will be 2 cushions, about a foot off the second cushion or so. Now he wants that to go a little bit. I think it's going to be fine.
Maybe not. Nope.
That'll be upsetting.
Well, now he's got to play the 6.
That will be upsetting and kind of really a mistake that shouldn't have happened, really. I mean, you got a lot of room to bounce off that rail, and you can still kill the cue ball for the 2 ball all the way up. So he's just got to make a little bit more of a shot than he really wanted to make in this rack, and that would be the 6.
And I think he's all right. I mean, if he's got to get back in the area where he is now, and then shoot the 2-ball upfield, and just follow that for the 1. But make sure you get that window on the 1.
Well, I'm curious what his thought process is if he shoots the 1.
Oh, you mean now shoot the 1?
Well, he's
now?
looking at it. That's why I'm saying, like, if he shoots the 1, I'm wondering why.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, if you're coming back to get position on the 3, I got to believe the 6 is much easier.
Totally agree. That's why I never thought he even considered the 1.
Yeah.
But he, of course, I don't have his skills.
Well, we're not at the table. There's a little something he might have saw that made him think the 1 was the play, but this is fine here. Like I said, he's got a lot of room to fall on the 3. No reason not to get there.
Definitely doesn't want to end up in the same location.
That should be
much better.
Yeah, that's good
sure.
there. He'll just kill the cue ball with a little angle. Yeah, that's what I would like right there. Now, Shane, because of his technique, some of these kill shots aren't so easy for him, meaning like you'll rarely ever see Shane really drag the cue ball. Just because he's a little more hitter of the cue ball. And like a drag stroke or a lot of kill strokes, meaning really require or best done when you follow through the cue ball a little bit more. So he uses a little more touch, meaning a little more softer speed to kill the cue ball.
Gotcha. Now, right there, would you have ever considered maybe just
Drawn
and just bumping the 2-ball just a hair?
Possibly because that everything was so open upstairs. Sure. If you get a little congestion where you might bump it into a bad spot, well, no, you don't want to mess with it, especially with as great as these guys are.
Yeah, because it was a real simple little pop, but still, when you're practicing, you try it both ways, I think. But when you in tournament play, I would definitely be going.
Man, what a nice touch there, and that wasn't easy. Just a straight center punch, a light one coming across.
And just to take that all-important lead again. Now these guys are trading breaks, winning on each other's break.
Yeah, there hadn't been any misses so far besides the break shot. They're 0 for 3 on that one. Now we'll get some outer scores.
Now we'll get some
Go
outer
ahead,
scores.
George.
Let's see. We got Marco Toucher over Chris McDaniel 1-0. Alex, off to a quick start, 3-2 over Danny Olson. James Aranas trailing Darren Appleton 1-3. Cheng Lu 1-0 over Casper Matikainen. Kevin Chang 2-0 over Michael Yednick. Ruslan Chinahov. That's the match from earlier because Brandon Schuff's already won 8-0, unless he forfeited. I don't remember seeing him here. So
No, I doubt that.
And
I'm
then,
sure that was a 10 a.m. match.
Okay. And then Dennis Cercolio over Ike Reynolds, 5-2.
Yeah. Guessing maybe Brandon's right back up at noon is what I know. He's right there. Brandon is. So okay, he's made the 9 on the break. I think maybe another one got down, but he's gonna wonder what am I have to do with that 4-ball up there, and with the 13 hanging as well. Don't think he can get at the combination. So this is going to be difficult, to say the least. Now he's looking to see if he can get at that, 10-12 combination. Now, one thing that's good, I don't know if he can get there. If he can get on the 14 some type of way with an angle, he may be able to go up into them balls. Otherwise, he's going to have to try and do something with solids. I mean, I know the 13's hanging, but that's an easy one to follow in with one of those solids.
So they're pretty good.
I'll tell you, with the one hanging, though, seems like to me you could get on the 3 probably, shoot the 6 and come around to the backside of the 3 to where maybe you get an angle. Now, is he going to shoot the 14 now, trying to get the cue ball into that 4 and 10 and 12? Okay, that angle looked like it was too heavy. This is dangerous.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
I thought it was gone.
Oh, how did he not scratch?
I thought
He
it
got
was
a double
gone.
kiss on that ball by the hole.
Yeah.
And it ended up
Yep.
coming away perfect.
He was going to go right into it. But now does he cut the 10 ball?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
100% he cuts the 10 ball. And really the problem the problem now, I know it sounds crazy, is the 13. The ball that's so deep in the hole, you don't want to play off that ball going to the 8. You'd rather play off of one of those other balls. So you want to get the 13 out pretty quickly if you can.
Well, if he's cutting the 10 ball, more than likely he would shoot the 13 next, unless he gets good on the 12.
Right, but the problem is if you just lay on this side of the table, the open side of the table, playing off the 13 from that angle is very touchy with all those solids. So I try to get around to the bottom rail myself.
Yeah, it looks like that's what he's doing. And he
Uh-oh, uh-oh, trouble. Ooh, man. I mean, it wasn't ever that he was going to be hooked on anything, I don't think. But he could have knocked the 8 into a real bad position right there.
Mm-hmm.
And now being on the rail with this thin ball in the side, I mean, in the corner, this shot becomes very touchy, George.
Yeah, he's got to come up. He's got to come up for the 11 here.
Yeah, but I don't
Or
think
the
it's
12.
so easy. I think he's got to creep past those balls. If he hits it hard, I think this could
He's going
really
rail
get away
first,
from
yeah,
him.
He's going rail first. Uh-oh.
He got there.
He got the 12.
And he's going to have a thin shot on the 11 after he comes back up the table. But he's going to have to produce still. And I'll tell you what he might have got. He might have got the perfect. Once he shoots this 12 on the side, it may be perfect to come down, shoot the 11, and run the cue ball right between the 7-6 for the 8 and the side probably, or something like
Sure
that.
lays nice. It all depends on the angle he comes up with here. He's going to go 2 rails at it, I believe.
Well, 2 rails is dangerous, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
I would.
5 balls big.
I'd stay on that line. I'd go 1 rail as long as I'm.
Just go up by the 4.
Yeah, as long as I'm not running into the 4, I would. That 2 rails, you better have perfect speed on the cue ball. Is all I can tell you. If you ever underrun, you're in trouble, or if you overrun, you're in trouble.
He's got to get to the middle of the table if he goes 2 rails, and it seems to lay there, but it could go wide.
Yeah, well, you can tell the 12's kind of thin, right? So when it's kind of thin, coming 2 rails, you're going to have speed. Is he trying to beat the 4 right here with inside?
Going right around it.
Oh, great touch there. Great touch there. And that's that angle. I think he got perfect to go right in between the 6-7.
And he took everything out of play with that shot.
Yeah.
Every mistake possible out of play, except overrunning it.
Yeah, and the one good thing about that inside is he was staying on the no-hook side of the 11 the entire time. He could come out 2 rails here now.
He's going for the side.
Wow, that's a great touch. And right away, the pressure's going to be put on Dennis Hatch, and really without making a mistake besides 2 dry breaks.
And we have 8 players on the winner's side that'll play. All of them will play at 2 o'clock. And those matches will be Max Eberle versus Skyler Woodward, Corey Duell versus Torsten Homan, Junling Chang versus Jeffrey DeLuna, and John Mora versus Tyler Steyer.
Was that the
winner's side?
We should have 4 of them, though, right?
That's 4 matches.
Oh, it was 4. You called 4. Okay.
Yeah, Eberle, Woodward, Duell, Homan, Chang, DeLuna, and Mora Steyer.
There you go. Those will all be at 2, and then depending on how those matches come out, I believe we'll have a 4 o'clock winner's side, which will be the final 4 of the winners, and then the other opposite final 4 winners match will be at 6. That'll make up our hot seat match that will be aired at noon tomorrow.
And the quarterfinal and then the semifinal,
Yeah.
with the final coming in at 6 p.m.
Yeah, and that'll wrap up a heavy-packed 6 days of action here at Griff's. No more 8-ball played today than Las Vegas, Nevada. Around the world, I tell you, there's a lot of 8-ball going on in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
You've got the APA going on. There's a lot of that over there.
Well, again, I think a dry break, right? I think so. I didn't see one.
I don't see Shane
maybe
jumping up.
No,
so
no,
maybe
okay.
Not.
And Dennis a little upset about this 13-3, but really with one problem to deal with. I understand you'd rather have not any problems, but I mean, one problem to deal with is okay.
Well, he can get to the 13-3 with the 1. He can get there with the 1, and he can probably get there with the 1.
You mean the breakout? You mean?
Yeah, the breakout for the 3 ball.
I think I would look at stripes though, just because we have a 9
Yeah, 9
more
ball
near.
for that.
Yeah, and
11
an
also.
11 and a
Yeah,
10.
and a 10.
You know, you got a
Yeah.
few things that may work your way as far as breaking that out. Now, neither are great. Trying to see the solid that really. I mean, of course, the 1, but I mean, the problem with the solids is, well, you got the 5, so that's okay. I mean, if you got the 5, that's all right. I was going to say, when you do break them out, what's your guaranteed ball to get shape on?
The 5.
The 5, I guess,
5,
is
yeah.
good. Yeah.
That's why I like coming off the 1. Now, he might consider, I doubt it, but he might consider using the 7 coming down and playing it off the 13, but that's awfully accurate shot. So I pretty much doubt that.
Okay, I think he wanted to get on it right there. The 2 to come 3 rails, busting the 13-3 out right now, I think. Now, this could go, the scratch is not there, and he's got the bottom rail as well, so heavy left spin right here.
He's going to go
He
with
really wants the second rail to take a lot of that left, like
Gotcha,
here.
that's nice. Oh, that's
Oh,
what
he
I was
caught-
afraid of. And
caught
that's
the 10.
That's part of the reason I didn't say that ball would be good to break it out.
Yeah.
Because that was right in the line. And now his other option is being now he won't have a guaranteed shot when he goes after the 3.
Yeah, and I don't really see a great way to get it at the 3 again. I wonder if you can't challenge Shane from here. So I was thinking if he makes the 13-3 and just lays them on the bottom rail here, knowing the 9's kind of by itself, but it's very accessible.
Challenge him to making a shot
A
from
long
the bottom
shot,
rail.
yeah, and it's just not any good. Now, one thing he could do is he could clip the 3 open and lay him behind the 13 to where he doesn't have a shot at all, meaning the 13 kind of is a full eclipse on everything. That's not horrible. I mean, from the position he's in.
Can he clip the 3 and avoid moving the 13?
Oh, yeah, just clip
Okay.
the left side of it and knock the 3 to the bottom rail, and then. Okay, so he's going to shoot the 7 and then come 1 or 2 rails off the 1 right at that 313. But the problem here is, what's the guarantee if he doesn't get shape on the 3? And he didn't get much angle either, and he doesn't have the draw angle either, I don't believe. So
He's going to have to
put a lot of
spin,
speed on
spin,
this,
speed,
yeah.
He's going to have to stun and then come down.
And that's
is
the
a tough
great.
shot.
That's the actual great element of 8 ball is that.
This is one of your favorite pop shots.
Well, yeah, and you still have a chance, right? But there's a lot of danger when you don't get through the rack how you want, and this is going to end up. Oh my! At least he got a bank. I mean, he did get something.
Yeah. And this is one of the harder bank shots to the side pocket. I mean, this is as big of angle, as wide of angle as you can get.
Yeah, and the hardest to predict with the newer felt. Also, the cut to an extreme angle really wants to spread on you.
Well,
I've found that I'm more accurate with these, hitting them kind of on the lighter side.
So it opens up more?
Well, yeah, and just play the open up. As, you know, you always want to hit it with more speed, but.
Be a good shot. Not quite.
Yeah, Dennis, the frustration setting in here. And he's got to realize that, of course, it is frustrating, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't a whole, I mean.
No.
He missed that one breakout on the 2, but, I mean, getting at that 3 ball just wasn't easy.
No. That 10 ball played real big for that 2 rail come across. If he would have been able to complete it, he would have had to go past the 10, caught the bottom rail, and hit the 3.
Right.
But right at the 3, the 10 ball was in the way.
And I might have looked at the stripes.
To begin with, instead of the solids.
Yeah, and for the other thought is, what if I can't get out? Which one's going to give me a little more protection with the 13-3 covered up?
Okay.
I mean, you hate to think like that as some of the best players in the world, but it does come up in 8-ball.
You know, I guess you should think like that, though, just in case.
Well,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, you know.
Most players they don't sit there and think they're going to fail at the out.
Well, I
But
mean,
what if I do?
Right.
It's actually a good strategy.
Well, and it comes up. It's not
goes
an all-the-time thing, but it does come up because I think both Shane and Dennis, if they were given that position Dennis was in after the break, would have had a tough time running out. Okay.
Yeah, he's got a shot on the deuce.
Yeah, and that's the one that I would shoot because after he pockets the 5, if he can get on the 5, the 7 opens up to the opposite corner, no problem. And you don't want to miss the first shot, right? So the solids really tell you this is the easiest first shot, and both the balls are runnable. Now, we'll see if he recognizes I can make the 2, knock the 5 in, and then the 7 is going to be open to the opposite corner. So not really any problems here, George.
7.
Right?
7, 5. Well, the 5's open easily, and you can get to exactly.
Yeah. Once you shoot the 5 off, the 7 goes in the opposite pocket.
He'll have to get on the 3, right, to get to the 5.
Well, no, he should shoot the 2 and then the 5 right now.
If he can just hold it there, yeah.
Yeah, I think he can self-spin this in very easily, and I'm not sure he recognizes that after he shoots the 5 that the 7 is going to be open to the opposite hole or not. I'm not sure if he sees that, but that's one thing about 8-ball, along with like straight pool and stuff. You have to be able to look at the table and imagine what the table's going to look like after a couple balls are out or gone.
And that's a great point you just made, that the 7 will be open to the left-hand corner pocket, because I was looking at shooting the 5 and opening up the 7 and having maybe not getting a guaranteed shot on the 4 or the 6 up on top if I don't get it on the 7.
Well,
so that's a good point.
Yeah, and the 2 right here kind of tells you that you're going to have an above angle on the 5. And you want to go ahead and get the 5 out of there. You don't want to hesitate. You don't want to wait on that too much. So he's got to soft roll this in. Shouldn't be a problem, though. Now, it looks like to me he's going firmer. So.
Well, now he's going to depend on using that 3 to come down for the 5.
Well, like you talked about, though, he can open with the 5. With the 7, and the other thing is if he gets heavy on the 5, the 7 will go on the opposite side once he shoots the 5 off. So he just probably didn't want to slow roll that first shot to hold for the 5. That probably had a little bit something to do with the cue ball path.
I think leaving the 6 here will be good for him.
Yeah, and he's gonna
get to the 3.
Yeah, bump the 14 open, I guess. They can't get to the 5 now, though.
Nope.
And he's a little funny going from the 6 to the 5. So.
Yeah, that 9 ball, he goes around it looks like, but it's not the easiest of paths.
No,
the
not
clearest.
at all. Not even close to an easy path here.
But I think he's forced himself to do something with it.
Well, now he's looking at if I shoot the 5 last with a little angle, can I come around to get at that 7 ball?
Well.
Or not 5 last, but later on. Anyways.
Later on, right. And he's going to have to, because I don't think he can get the ball down there. So get on the 5 and maybe just be able to bump the 8 ball clear of the 7, have a little cut on the 7 itself.
And I'm not sure he recognizes that he really has a lot of options on the 5. As long as he doesn't get super thin on the 5 one way or another. Like you said, he can open with the 8 ball up. If he gets heavy on it, he's got the 7 in the opposite side. Excuse me. And also, if he gets good to where maybe he can draw around for position on the 7 once the 5's gone for that open corner. But really, that first shot was the one that I think he really could have capitalized on that, taking away that little problem by the
slowing
spot.
that 2 ball, shooting the 2 ball soft. And then going to the 5 immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
Now he's got to bump this open, I think, or draw back. One of the 2. He doesn't want to get flat on the 6. 8 ball's a weird game. You don't want to get flat, but you don't want to get up. Bunch of angle.
Okay, now he's going to come.
He's in a little trouble.
He's got to come around between the 14 and the rail.
Yeah, he's got to hit it well, though.
If he comes down almost in line with the 5 and up to the pocket, he can shoot the 5. Draw it into the 8 and moves the 8 away, and the cue ball comes straight back, he'll be straight in on the 7.
Right. Or if the other angle, he just doesn't want to get thin.
This is perfect. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
This
And
is
if he
perfect.
had the other angle, he bumps the 13 and has the 7 in the upper corner or side. So as long as he didn't get extreme on the 5, he was going to have some type of play one way or another.
This is perfect.
Ooh, he put a lot of movement on
Yeah,
the
he
8.
did. I didn't expect that much.
No, me and you both. I thought he could just nip draw that ball.
And he put the other English on it, too, because the ball spun away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he could just lightly draw this
Now
ball.
getting to this 8 can be, just make sure he's in the center of the table and the 11's not in the way.
Yeah, the miss is the more of the problem, I think, than the shape. But Shane got it down.
There we go. That's Shane doing what he does best.
Well, but, you know, the break, of course, big part of all the players' games these days, and Shane definitely one of those. But he's one of the best recovery players there ever has been playing, and that's playing all games. Just really can do. It's just because, how do you say, what he wants to do, he executes it so well. We might question it sometimes, but he executes so well.
A good example is getting out of that little predicament he had right there. And it was all execution. Even though he did it different than the way I saw it, but of course he's 200 points higher in Fargo.
Yeah, well, yeah. More cue ball movement than probably either one of us desired, but that's because we want to limit taking a chance on mistakes, and really he's not worried about it. He really feels like he's going to hit the ball well no matter what he decides. He's made me a believer.
Oh, sure. Believe me, I've watched him. Like I said, I've watched him play now in these U.S. Open 8-ball and 10-ball championships. And then just back in May, they went through the bank pool, straight pool, and one pocket. And he was in all 3 of those, won 2 of the 3. So.
And I think second or third in the other, I think.
I don't remember what he got in the one pocket, but Warren took that one.
Yeah, Warren, maybe the most improved one-pocket player on the planet. He really has improved. I watched him in New Orleans. He was like a different guy.
There goes the ball to the side.
He made one on the side. We'll see what the groups look like.
He's got either set available to him.
Yeah, he's got problems, though, because the solid's on the bottom rail here. Now he's almost got to pick the 4 off first, and then at some time or another shoot the 2 off the 11 to open that pocket for the 6-7.
And he's got to get this cue ball off the rail, off the back rail here, because he's going to come into a
13.
The 4 and the 13, yeah.
Just don't baby it. He should come up to the right side. Oh, he went with inside. Okay, either way. Now he'll get rid of that 2 ball into the 11.
With position for the 3.
Yeah, but the thing is, get on the right side of that 3. You want to fall on that 6-7 on the next shot, I believe. You don't want to wait on the 1 ball to get on that 6-7. Now, if he comes back, okay, did he get there?
Yep, he's good.
He's good? Okay, can he shove down?
And it looks like he can come straight over.
Well, that's good. That's
he can
what
just
he
follow
wants.
straight. And I think he comes down a little bit. Yeah, perfect.
Uh-oh.
It's not behind the 8, but he's still got the 6.
Close.
Yeah.
And he's knocked the 8 out of position. That's the problem now.
And that's what he's I believe that's what he's kind of taking a couple of extra steps about and smirking about. He doesn't
little
like
subtle
that at all.
mistake there.
Yep.
I might try and remove the 8 right now.
And that's exactly what he tried to do, I believe.
He's got issues here.
And again right now.
Yeah, well.
Not enough.
We'll see.
Now he's got to come to that side.
I think he's got a pocket now.
Think so?
Yeah, I think that little sliver. Now he doesn't have a whole pocket, I don't believe, but he does. Yeah, he's got a pocket. It's not one you want to shoot from some distance.
Well, he's going to bring it down.
Just one
Pretty
rail,
close,
though, right?
Yeah, just one rail. Yeah, just.
Oh,
no,
he went 2. Okay, so he was heavier on that 1 than we thought. And Dennis Hatch looking to get back on the board here.
Small pocket.
And nice speed there on that 8-ball opening.
Yep.
Opening the pocket up just a touch.
Well, that game wasn't as big for him to win because that was not on Shane's break. That was on Dennis's break.
Well, they're all big for Dennis right now. 5-1.
But he wants to win it anyway. But
he didn't care if you break him, I break him. It doesn't matter at this point right now.
See, right there where you win a game like that is you don't really punish your opponent. You just held your serve.
Right.
Is the way I look at it.
Orcullo up 8-4 over Ike Reynolds.
He's won.
Oh, it's over?
It's over. It's a race to 8.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was thinking of the 10 ball. So
it's race to 8, folks. The final tomorrow night at 6 p.m. will be a race to 10.
James Aranis trailing Darren Appleton 6-1. Lou ahead 4-1 over Matkinen. Kevin Chang and Michael Yednick leading Kevin Chang 3-2. Pagaline 5-3 over Danny Olson. Tutzer and McDaniel with Tutzer leading 3-2. And right here on your the main screen, SVB up 5-2 and pouring them in on the break here in the 8th game.
Yeah, speaking of main screens, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you coming into our computer world.
Well, what an easy out this is here. Just chip that ball in, you get on the 12, and then you play off the 11, 14, 13, 8 most likely. The 11 really offers it an easy path to get to the backside of the 14. So just don't get too thin on the 11. It's the main thing. Draw into a little bit of heavier position.
I wonder if he'll play that 14 to the side pocket from right here. I mean, as soon as he plays the 11 and end up on the rail,
or I'd rather
just follow it and go to the corner.
I'd rather get heavier and either play for the corner by the 4 or the opposite side. That way I'm just not moving the cue ball as much. So try to get heavy on this. Just draw back into position.
I just wondered if he'd take it now or he's going to come back to it.
Yeah,
he wants to be thicker that way. He just doesn't have to move the cue ball towards that 3 and 2 at all. Just go ahead and just dink it on in. I know it's not as pretty looking, but you can also stop it and play it to the right-hand corner.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. One way or another, either go past it for the opposite side, that little short side, or for the corner. Oh, he did go by those. Okay, just kind of however you want to do it.
Sure. He'd rather take a stroke than float.
Yeah. And, you know, I think if he would have been told that corner that was down, the one you were talking about, down to the lower right, if someone had said, hey, you can really stay off the rail here, everything. Okay. And we had just talked about it in between games that Shane, it may not be exactly the pattern we look at, but what he wants to do, he does.
Sure.
Also.
His execution.
Yeah.
So great. Here we go up. He goes up 6-2.
What's amazing to me now, the scores would have told you that a little bit in our first 3 matches yesterday with them being a little one-sided. But even the close matches, it's amazing the pace of the 8-ball matches compared to the 10-ball. I mean,
well, you don't have the safeties. They're almost forced to break because they break the balls open so well, and they're so spread out. The clusters aren't really there for what we've seen on the stream.
Yeah.
That it forces them to run out, and if they don't get out, the other guy does.
Yeah, and no matter if they make balls on the break or not, the player incoming or the player that broke will almost always have a shot.
Yeah,
so there's not that roll out like 10-ball or getting hooked and wondering where am I going to push the cue ball against these great players.
There's not that chess match getting to a shot.
Getting to the open shot, yeah exactly.
There's a big break.
And that's what I mean. You see the cue ball a little flatter, not quite as much pop on the cue ball, if any at all. And now another dry break.
Wow.
Dennis is pretty frustrated, and I understand.
Well, that is the frustration of playing 8-ball. If your break isn't, I mean, we've seen some excellent breaks from a couple of players. And, of course, from Shane has an excellent break also. But that's the frustration of 8-ball is the break. And you know that when you break them up like that, it's open for him.
Yeah.
It's open for your opponent.
Well, the solids are real easy here. He'll shoot the 6 and either get on the 1. Now the 7 is the only one that I'm really even remotely concerned about, just because it's kind of out in space by itself. If I could shoot the 6 and get on the, you want to get on the 1. Oh, he's going to shoot this. He's going to shoot a stripe. Excuse
Stripe
me.
with the combo.
Yeah, but he's sending the 1 into where things could go a little bit
Yeah,
hairy
for those
here.
two balls.
Yeah.
For those 2 balls on the bottom there, what if it blocks the 15 ball?
Yeah, or gets up on the 8.
Gets up on the 8.
And not only that, I kind of felt like the 11 and the 15 were the most difficult balls on the table. Meaning, where's his path to get down there now? It's not that hard, but I mean, he's still got to play some type of shorter position with the stripes.
Well, that 13 ball gets him down there. And you can go, well.
Yeah, it does, but
Yeah.
I'm saying he's still got to play some position, I tell you. But that's okay. I mean, they're fairly open.
14 gets him there, too. Because you'll probably get to the 15 and push the cue ball on the right side of the 8 for the 11 and work from there. He might come right here.
Yeah, I think he'll try and pick off those 2 up there first and then fall on the 13. He doesn't have to. He can do it either way. He can shoot the 13 now, but it's a little bit more missable. And he was looking to get on shoot the 14 and come down now, I think.
I think that's what he's doing.
Now, you better have good speed because you want to get at the 11 right after that 15. Okay, I think that's pretty good. He may be able to shoot the 11 now.
I would have liked to come down a little further.
I would have too, I agree. But a lot of times you
It
can,
looks like he has.
you can manipulate the pocket a
It
little bit.
looks like
you know.
he can cheat a little bit and push the cue ball over. Up for the 11.
Yeah, you don't want to come down for this 15 and not get the 11 at the same time.
Yep.
That's what I was
He
saying.
had-
You can
he had
manipulate the
enough, yeah,
pocket,
sure.
just cheat the pocket a little
So
bit.
he went the other way because he didn't have the bottom to open it up.
Yeah.
Cheat it.
He'll come 1 rail for the 13 in the side. No reason to try and press it and get on the 9 right now. I mean, I don't think anyways.
He's going forward. It looks like he's going forward.
A little
coming
inside,
close.
right?
No, he's going back his way.
Yeah,
No, he
just
went forward,
inside,
just-
yeah, for the
Just
13
past
ball.
there for the 11 and then the 9. Oh, the 13 and then the 9. From a different camera angles, the 13 and the 11 look pretty much the same. To my
Oh, you stay in
eyes.
Vegas long enough, you kind of vision will go after a while. Everything gets a little blurry.
You also keep aging, the vision will go.
I've been experiencing that. My
Hey,
wife.
you're at that age where the reading glasses are starting
Come on
to
now.
look better and better.
I know my wife's
Almost.
wanting to get me some readers.
Yeah. They're actually, once you get used to them, they're not so bad.
It's not the actual glasses. It's the overall thought of having to get them.
Well, you'll probably need it one time or another. What I find myself fortunate for is that I don't need glasses.
Right. Well, that's what I was about to say.
I can see fine, except for the readers.
I've been
Need the
pretty
readers.
fortunate in my life as far as when it comes to the senses, the hearing and the visual. And sometimes people probably I talk too much sometimes. I guess that's about.
I've heard people say aging's not for sissies.
It's not for the weak.
No.
And neither is pool, professional pool,
Oh,
especially.
wow, yeah. You've got to be strong-minded. You got to be strong-willed. And you got to have thick skin.
Yeah, you got to have one heck of a chin, I'll tell you.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Miss hit there, but he's going to get a stripe down up in the corner. And he's going to have a little combination on a stripe to start if he wants. Now he's got other things that he can do, and he can play the 1 off of the 9 to open that 7, and maybe the 7 passes the 12 anyways.
Yeah.
It's close.
It is close.
But he's got a combination on a 7-9 he can play. He's got a 12 ball he can break the 9 open with very easily. If I was going to play stripes, the 9's not the worry. The worry to me is how am I getting on this 13 to get on the 11. Uh-oh.
He's not going to shoot those 2 balls, I don't
Well,
think.
it's real close. I'll tell you that.
If he can't see that, he's banking the 12.
Yeah, and that's still to me Of course, this is a
Wow,
concern.
that's so
but
close. Look at that angle. Nice angle there to see if we can make that 15, but doesn't look like it. Doesn't appear to.
Yeah, but he dressed up real nice. If you're going to have to bank one, this one is about as sweet as it's going to get. So now he'll shoot the 14, and he'll shoot the 15, and he'll probably come all the way down for the 11 on that gap between the 13 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't get too thin. You don't want to be going towards that 13 now. You want it. He wanted to be thicker than this. That way he goes in between the 13-5 for the 11, then 13 in the side, and the match is over with the 8 in the lower right.
Mm-hmm.
Now he may have to guide the cue ball in between the 3 and 6. Oh, he
I
killed
thought
it.
he was fine.
Oh, he killed it. Okay, put a little inside English on there. Yeah.
Okay. A little straight here, but he'll manipulate, like you said, he'll manipulate the pocket.
Yeah.
I call it cheating the pocket.
Right.
Oh, he's got just a little angle he can just follow, or just stun it right over from the side. There you go.
And Shane, though, is probably the best in the world on the TV table, too, as far as knowing how to manipulate the pocket, what I can do and what I can't do. And, you know, deservedly has spent more time in the last 15 years on the TV table than anybody on the planet.
He gets his time. Well, and he gets his time by earning it, getting to the finals, getting to the semifinals, getting to the matches that lead to being on it.
Dennis, with a little hand gestures, telling Shane he's #1. And that was a great match.
Which
there.
finger did you use to indicate that?
His thumb. It was the thumb.
Oh, okay. 8-2, Dennis Hatch.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back at 2 o'clock.